Hello, everybody. Yeah, back
Hello,
at it again.
hello.
We got your boy Septile on the mic, live, not live, but he's alive, which counts for something.
Well, that was interesting. What's also interesting is the poop emoji.
Bro,
Uh,
I don't know. Tiermaker just has it on there.
it's very interesting. I wonder why it's more popular than almost every other emoji.
Half of them. Oh, yeah, almost every other one. Anyways, we're doing armors and helmets. Thumbs up emoji. So essentially, hear me out. We're making. What the hell was that? I love getting emails from a billion different colleges. B. Anyways, I guess we're just gonna we're just gonna
I
start
think
this off.
we should start with the tundra armors. Well, dried tundra armors first. Thematically, it makes sense. They're the first armors you'd wear.
Yeah,
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
bro. It's it's the F tier. We don't need an E tier.
Okay.
All right.
Just completely missed a letter there.
But because that's not how tier lists work.
But, but.
I've never got an E on a test before, Sep.
You know, that does make me wonder. Why are there no E's?
We're not talking about this, Sep. All right. Anyways, this fine piece of equipment right here.
That's not the right one. You gotta start with the first one. It's in the
Oh
bottom
my
right.
god, Yap Fest. Alright, this fine piece of equipment right here. Doesn't this give you literally like one defense and like minus speed?
Um, yeah. No, it's two defense. It's two defense.
Wow.
I mean, it's.
Does not change my opinion on it.
Well, no, see, two defense can mean a lot when you're first starting, especially when you're fighting Monstones. And it's pretty cheap. Plus, you can't disrespect Creeper Gunner.
That's true. That's on God, bro. That's on God. Let
Then
me,
why aren't you moving it?
cause it's garbage.
Dang. You really gonna do Creeper Gunner like
I
that?
think the last time I used this helmet is the first day I played the game.
I guess that's fair.
Like, it's a canon event helmet, you know? Anyways, the next helmet, which honestly isn't terrible, shiny helmet, 3 defense with no downside, but I think it just costs money. I don't think there's any requirement for
It's
it.
just money. Three defense, no downside. It's really useful if you're trying to
I'd
make a
say,
scavenger at 20 max
yeah,
health,
yeah,
because then you can get 6 defense so you don't lose health to the zombies.
that is true. I think because of usefulness in the early game, I'll put it here, just because it is useful in the early game. And obviously, just like how useful these are is kind of our main point, you know. All
Yeah.
right, and then enchanted helmet, which is one more speed for -1 defense, which
I think you said that backwards. It's one less speed for one more defense.
yeah, that's what I said.
Right. Right.
Honestly, I'd have to put it below because I don't be using it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the negative speed. The extra defense isn't worth the negative speed.
Yeah, it really isn't. But let's see. Horse rider helmet. I mean, it's good for paladins. I say B
Yeah, no,
tier.
it's a great late game actually.
It's yeah, late game for things that don't really need to dodge, but more focused on, you know.
Tanking like Lorcam Paladins.
Yes, in fact. All right, next Tundra armor. There it is. I'm blind.
Yes, the Tundra armor.
Cannon event armor.
It truly is. I mean, it doesn't make it good, but it's cheap and it doesn't have any
I think
downsides.
C tier's pretty solid place for it.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
cheap, no downsides, easily accessible.
Guard armor. Guard
Mm,
armor. -2 defense
no.
for -2 speed for 6 defense.
The thing with guard armor is by the time you can buy it, you're better off using something like Light Wastelander.
Honestly, I'd say when you're using guard armor is probably around the same time you should be using Soul Reaper for
Yeah,
grinding up
exactly.
your class and stuff. Because defense really doesn't matter when you're just trying to grind for your class unless you need like, some
And you won't
special
be
quest
fighting
done.
much bosses as a tier 2 knight, anyways.
Yeah, I'd say D tier, fair place. It does give a solid amount of defense, but it's
It's
-2
pretty
speed.
solid defense, but it's kind of
All right, that's the
pointless.
first area cleared. What area do we want to tackle next?
Next would be Mapearl.
All right, the pearl. We got the helmet. Okay, yeah, these are kind of about the helmets because blindfold is shared between that and caves. And then a whole bunch of these armors, honestly. Anyways, so Red
Yeah,
G.
Mapearl helmets.
Oh, we're gonna do helmets first. Okay, that's really just these two.
The bandana is also there
Well,
in Mapearl.
technically yes.
Well, I guess it also. I mean, it's technically in Randallion, so we'll get to it
Well,
then, I guess.
yeah, we could just do it now.
Eh. I mean, it's 5 speed, no downsides, and it's literally 10 gold. That's
I
2
mean,
flowers.
5 speed,
Especially.
really good for progressing, I think.
No, yeah, it is. Especially if you're going for something like Knight. It makes beating Dawn a breeze
Yeah, I
because you
think
just max speed.
I don't want to pollute A tier before we actually get into like really good things that are actually solid. So I think upper B would be a solid place.
Yeah.
Like I think it's definitely better than like these helmets because I think speed is overall more useful until you get into bosses that just don't care about your speed.
Yeah.
Which you won't be using most of these helmets by then anyways, besides maybe this one. So and then I honestly don't know the difference between Hunter and Bowman, but I think this one's Hunter.
Her
No wait, this one's Hunter. Unless they
Hunter
have it
helmet.
on the wiki, unless they have it on the Trello wrong, but that's the order they are in. So
Hunter helmet's just 111.
yeah, I mean,
It's kind of expensive for a 111 armor.
yeah, I'd put it D tier above guard armor because I don't think guard armor is too useful
Yeah.
just in general. So and then
Bowman helmet though. I mean, 120. 2 damage is kind of useful.
I
I
think
still wouldn't put it above. I think it'd be high C
okay,
now, mid C tier, honestly.
I think
Because the thing
high
about
C
it,
tier. Okay, hear me out.
well,
High C tier because think about it.
uh-huh.
It also is good because you don't really use this helmet by itself too often unless you're upgrading it to a helmet that was pretty meta. I don't the this one, which is like I think it's 231 if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, the thing about it though
Yeah,
is if
231.
you're gonna use the Bowman helmet, then you might as well just go for the Darkness Hood because it's just better and it's not
Oh
too much more
yes.
expensive.
If you were planning on just using this helmet, then it's bad. But if you're planning on upgrading it, then it's use
Well, since
because
we're counting the upgraded version as a separate item in this
yeah,
instance,
yeah. All right, let's see. Now we're getting into the armors. Okay, Red G, not Red G, Red Mage armor.
Red mage armor.
It's kind of garbo. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's definitely garbage. It exists as a starter armor, but
but
so
you can just get any of the other armors at that same
yeah, if
time
you can
for
buy
more
mage
money.
armor, that means you're a mage.
Yeah, so if you're gonna get this, honestly, I'd be tempted to put both of these also in the same tier,
Well,
just because it's like purple mage armor is the only one that you really have to consider, unless you have like a money problem, in which none of these armors are gonna fix your problem, so you might as well just save up.
well, no. The blue mage armor, eh. I mean, blue mage armor, just because of its stats, I'd put it
220.
D tier above guard armor.
Yeah,
And then with green mage armor, though, it's still really good stats. It's 3-2-1.
I put
For a beginner armor, as cheap as it is, it's really good. And then, of
yeah.
course, purple mage armor is viable into late game, but you shouldn't be wearing it late game.
I'd say
I
below
mean,
B tier,
it's
maybe.
low above shiny helmet.
Yeah, yeah. Um, one of these
Ranger
is
armor is
ranger and one of them is advanced ranger. But oh, I know which one it is. This is advanced ranger. This is normal.
the one with the gloves is the advanced one.
Yeah. So one three
I mean,
one.
normal ranger armor though, 131,
I
pretty
think
much before the existence of Soul Reaper and other armors with higher than 3 damage. Anything with 3 damage was basically meta.
yeah. I mean,
Still below purple mage armor.
I'd honestly put
Well,
it like
yeah,
here,
below green mage armor.
and then
And then for advanced is just the
one
same
more
thing but
defense.
better.
One more
So
defense.
yeah, I'd go above it.
Yeah. And then summoner armor. I mean,
Summoner armor is goaded.
inventory
It's
space, summon
412
slots.
inventory and summon slots. Yeah.
412, yeah. So good speed. I mean, solid defense. I mean, you're not supposed to be dealing damage if you're a summoner, and I think you can only get this armor if you're a summoner, I believe. So
Yeah. Well, no, maybe I don't remember, but I think other mages can wear it. Maybe
yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, in terms of who's supposed to be using it, its intended purpose is definitely up there.
summoners.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I put upper B tier
Yeah.
because there's definitely better options. I feel, but it's still good.
And then after that is merchant armor.
Yep.
We know where that one goes. That's the thing about merchant armor. I think it's gotten 2, 3 nerfs
It
so
is.
far.
I I remember it used to be like 313 or something or 312, and now it's 110, and it's still so good. Just because
Yeah. See.
it's so crucial for relic builds, and inventory space
Yeah.
is always nice too. But
The
two
inventory
relic
space is a
slots,
good bonus. And the inventory space allows you to still have inventory space with an anti relic.
meaning
And it's just
more relic slots.
more relics, yeah, more relics. But it's the thing with merchant armor is even if it had like -1, -1, -1 stats, it would still be meta. People would still wear it over their class armors because there's just not enough ways to get relics or relic slots in the game right now,
Yeah.
and relics are incredibly build defining. It's the difference between doing enough damage to not die in one hit and doing enough damage to die in one hit,
Yeah.
especially when you're in places like Shadow Lair. And there's just so many relics in the game that provide all kinds of different uses, but being innately limited to just one, unless you're a specific race, and then having to give up basically your entire inventory if you want to have two instead, which requires a relic, so that's three. And that's kind of hurts androids in the long run because then you have to, if you want to be able to have inventory space, you have to get the Shadow Traveler's bag, which takes a weapon slot, so you can't have all the add-ons you want, and your weapon, and a Shadow Traveler's bag.
Yeah. Yeah. I think merchant armor definitely meta, and I wouldn't say it really needs a nerf, but I think the overall feature of relics needs to be a little better because I mean, it's like relics are kind of build defining at this point with how many there are. Cause like back before Temple release, there was like basically not that many relics.
There were like 5 relics total.
Yeah,
Well,
like the relic
golden
update.
cactus, UNN. That's 3.
I think the Phoenix one come out before Temple.
No, maybe
Obsidian.
the Phoenix one. I
It depends on
don't
if Phoenix came
recall.
out before Temple, then yes. But if not, then I
And
don't know.
there's also oh, mind relic and soul relic. So yeah, there's shadow relic too, and respiration and magnetic conducting. Okay, so there's more like 10
Magnetic and
relics, but
conducting came out with the achievement update, which I think was the same time as Temple almost. Maybe close to it at least.
mm, no, I don't think they came out with the achievement update. They've always been available as drops from lab. They just weren't widely available because
Oh
not many
yeah,
people could
yeah.
run lab. But yeah, that's like 10 relics or so. But a lot of them,
We're like not that good.
yeah, they were like
You only
relics
use them
then were more
in
like
certain
small
places.
bonuses.
And we didn't. Nobody knew Mind Relic could cancel confusion until after Temple, anyways.
Yeah. Relics
So
back then were more like small bonuses rather than something build defining.
yeah, like you got them because it was cool to have, but like
Yeah.
the
Or
only
if you were a summoner and wanted to summon you then.
yeah stuff like that. But yeah, I mean that was kind of the use of relics. And now that relics play such a big role, I think relic slots are kind of a big deal. So that's just kind of why the armor's meta.
Yeah. I think rather than continuing to nerf merchant armor, there just needs to be more accessible ways to gain higher relics slots.
Yeah, because I don't. I mean, my I think I think controversial opinion. I think they should increase all relic slots by one, like everyone's relic slots by one.
Make base relic slots 2 instead of 1 for
Yeah,
everyone.
I mean, I think that would increase build variety.
It definitely would increase build variety a lot because if you didn't have to rely specifically on merchant armor in order to make a build work,
And obviously, there's things like anti-mass relic or whatever it's called that lets you have
anti
like a
relic, yeah.
heavy container, but it does come with like pretty annoying nerfs.
Well, anti relics are not too bad. You just don't ever get to use your inventory, which means
And
it's not
that's
useful for solo players. You can only ever use it on alts
yeah, that's why I use the word annoying because it's not
until you
like
get a Shadow
terrible.
Traveler's bag.
Yeah, it's not like the end of the world, but it's really annoying to have like zero hiking inventory space. But and then heavy container, I don't think it's
Heavy
actually
relic container.
it
Mm,
actually is just straight up harmful to your build because
it's just straight up useless 90% of the time.
I think the only way you can get any use out of it is being paladin since you don't really need speed if you're just tanking.
Those who know. But I think a nice feature for heavy relic container would be if having strength decreased the speed debuff
Mm,
proportionately to how much strength you had. That
yeah.
way, you could get more use out of it, especially with Yanji,
Yes. 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 All right.
and then
Anyways,
classes that give strength. But
moving
let us
on.
continue.
Moving on. Forest Crown is next in the list if we're going through the forest.
It's got to be a
Um,
staple. And the stats aren't too bad. I think the stats are around that of
1-1-2.
Bowman or yeah, it's like around Hunter helmet
I
stats.
mean, get a little defense. I think low C tier. I mean, I don't think it's too useful.
Yeah, it's slightly better than Bowman helmet actually.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Alright. Anyways. Reggie. Um, 2-2-1.
When
I mean, not
I
terrible.
mean the stats are good, but when's the last time you saw anyone wear it?
Just because of like when you get it. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's like better than that, but and then let's see, blue mage. Blue mage is that, but with one less defense, and also that's restricted to mages. So I think I'm gonna have to put it above it.
yeah, and then Bluegi. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear that armor in the history of platform battles.
Well, to be fair, it requires monk, and
I mean,
if you're
monks are still
using
pretty common now because you see D Slayers a lot.
if I'm a D Slayer though, I'm taking Light Slayer.
You're you have to be a monk to get D Slayer, which means you were a monk at some point, which means you would have access to the armor and not have
Have
access to D Slayer armor.
access to it. If I have access to it, bro, I'm still using Soul Reaper till I get my class, bro.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, the stats,
They're good.
they're
Four
decent
one two.
stats.
I mean, just overall pretty decent. Yeah. I mean, I think they could definitely go up there. I just don't think they're used too commonly just because of the restriction. It's honestly better than these armors.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it higher than Green Mage.
Yeah, Green Mage is pretty solid.
Another solid armor that you never see anyone wear.
Just because, I mean, if you're going to use that, just use
It's
purple.
because of when you get it in your progression.
Yeah.
And then
Purple
Purple
G,
Gi,
341.
definitely A tier.
Chief Fighter restricted, but yeah, definitely A tier. Just because, I mean, the only time I've made a Chief Fighter build and haven't actually used this is, when I
When
was
you're
using
damage maxing and running.
when I was
You
using
either
this.
run Purple Gi, Merchant Armor, or Soul Reaper
Yeah, I
as
I
a Chief
literally
Fighter.
this is just the
Well,
only
sometimes
time.
you see Limit Pusher Chief Fighters.
Yeah, but typically they're
I
like Namek or something.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on my godlike Chief Fighter build, I'd be using Merchant Armor though, just because that's the build you use.
And there's only one armor in the next region, and it's pretty fucking solid
Mitra?
stats.
Are we talking about Mitra?
Yeah, the Archer armor.
Archer Armor. Yep. 332. Honestly, I'd say if it wasn't restricted behind the orderly and you could just get it straight up, that'd be really good.
Well, you also have to have the Archer subclass, which means
Oh, true.
you.
Which is really restrictive because that's not really.
I mean, it hybrids. It hybrids with Thief, I think, unless
Um,
that's just Hunter.
but real, I don't know. Uh,
No, Hunter can. Wait.
Archer can do Warrior and Hunter. That's it.
Yeah, okay, so that's still pretty useful because that's a pretty solid armor.
I mean, okay, you're not. I think most of the time
And
you wouldn't be going with Archer, like in general though. Like
well,
a
as a
lot of
thief, it's basically your only other subclass option other than Hunter, which doesn't really
no,
give you
it's
much.
not an option as Thief though. Only Hunter is. Archer can
Mm,
only be combined with Warrior or Hunter.
yeah, and
So
warriors would typically either go lumberjack for the axe to debuff, or martial artist for head punch.
yeah. So I mean, not a whole ton of great options. So I
I'd
think
put it below purple mage.
yeah. I mean it's good as an armor, just not accessible enough. All right, moving on. We'll do the helmets first. Rendalion.
Yep.
All right,
Darkness hood.
Darkness Hood.
That's
I personally,
easily
I, I mean,
high B tier at least,
high B
because
tier.
that's basically the armor everyone run or helmet everyone runs before they get the helmet they're going for, i.e., blood cultist.
Mm. I mean, I use Darkness Hood for progression just because it gives pretty solid stats, so I can dodge Monstones and deal solid damage.
Yes.
So I mean it's pretty good at early progression. Get that in Cave Dweller, and you're pretty set for early progression until you get Soul Reaper and stuff.
And then after there's Rogue Hood. I mean, pretty solid stats. It's kind of just a worse Darkness Hood, but with some defense stacked on there.
Yeah, I think the damage is the only thing that makes it bad. Cause I
Yeah.
mean, I'd say low B tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, armors. Cave Dweller. This is one of my personal favorites for early game progression because
Oh
disables
yeah.
thieves. Disables
Not even
thieves.
just
Two two
disable
two.
thieves. It's some really, really solid stats for
For
a cheap early game armor.
yeah.
Cheapish.
I mean cheap if you know how to get money enough. I'd say A tier for progression in terms of
Yeah.
progression. All right, thief armor. I mean,
Thief.
thief armor, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
sometimes when you're speed maxing,
if you're speed maxing, you could do it, but I think,
I still wouldn't put that above C tier though,
yeah.
because it's got one specific niche purpose. Otherwise, the stats are kind of useless.
Oh, there it is. C tier. I think
Ooh, above
above
Tundra
Tundra. Above
Ranger.
Tundra. All right, and that concludes that zone. Next one is just scavenger armor.
It's pretty good. Relic slot, summon slot, and inventory space with decent stats too.
Yeah, I mean it's a really good armor. I mean, if you're using scav, you're probably using it.
Definitely A tier because it competes with merchant armor.
Yeah,
And when it comes to mechas,
I mean, yeah, 313 is really good for an armor that's not really too focused on straight up attacking. So,
and it gives relic slots.
yes,
Once
sir.
again, pretty massive part, especially with mechas where they rely on relics for a lot of things.
All right. Next up is Ancient Hero Helmet. This one, 114. So solid defense for bonus stats and the other stats too. The only real issue is, hold on, is this not the right helmet? Are these helmets messed up or something? I,
Ancient hero.
I don't know which one's Ancient Hero to be honest.
The hold on, I'm just gonna pop in game and look at that real quick.
Cause I think the Trello is in reversed order because the helmets are also backwards too. Because you got hecking bucket helmet on the far right.
I don't know why Roblox renamed it to fucking charts.
What?
You
Did
know,
they?
the Discover page? They renamed it to charts. Kind of weird.
The page I literally never use because it's just full of trash games at this point.
Yes. I mean, it's been full of nothing but slop since 2017. It's nothing new.
That's real. I have not beat Doors Floor 2. I really kind of need to, but it's
And
so much
Thief
fun.
Encounter.
That's real. Should have had Cave
Bro
Dweller.
thought he could dodge the barrage.
That's so real. Yeah, I
Still
think
one
I'm.
of my favorite builds of all time.
I think I'm getting off the Discover page.
It's not even called Discover anymore. It's just
I'm still
charts.
calling it that.
Solus Corporation.
They renamed their games to experiences, bro. Be so for real.
Yeah, that I don't even know why they do that. Roblox randomly changing things no one asked for no reason other than fuck you.
Yo, bro, I forgot. Monster Hunter Wilds demo, I think, dropped.
Yeah, I think. No, I don't think.
Me neither.
Common occurrence. For you, at least.
I have to share the brain cell.
With who? Who are you renting your brain cell out to?
My bad. I just got it back. What'd you say?
You can't rent it out like an Airbnb when you're still living there.
Nobody. The lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah. It do be like that sometimes.
You've gotten the helmet yet?
I'm almost there. I can see the walls of Powder 89.
Minor 89er.
Why are there windows into this building but you can't get in? Anyways.
Freedom's an illusion.
Alright, the ancient helmet is the one that looks like a cone.
Okay. So it's just in reversed order then.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna do that order then. Alright. Ancient helmet, 113. I mean, honestly, compared to like a lot of the other helmets, it is pretty solid. Like, it's at least above most
It's
of.
basically a better shiny helmet because I don't think it has much of a stat requirement. If it does, it's just strength.
Yeah.
And
Ancient
not
helmet,
much of that.
ancient helmet replica, 213. So I mean, it just, I'd say it's one less speed than. It's kind of equivalent with Rogue. It's one less speed for one more defense.
Yeah.
So I think
But honestly, I'd put speed over defense,
that is true.
especially at the time when you'd be buying those helmets. And then Ancient Kira helmet, kind of just shiny helmet, but better.
All right. What'd you say, huh? What? I spaced out. I wasn't sharing the brain cell.
Shiny helmet, but better.
Yeah, ancient hero helmet. Yeah, I mean, I put it above that just because it's one more defense though. All right, take over commentary for
It's
2
one more.
seconds.
Yeah, it's one more defense. But it also has a stat requirement, though. And it's pretty high. It's like 20 strength or something. Either that or it's a class requirement.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I was about to say, I wouldn't put it higher, even though it does have one more defense, because it has like a 20 strength requirement, and
Oh,
it's
I think it
hard
also
to get
requires
that.
Ignite.
Yeah,
So I mean, I still put it above shiny helmet here or
wrong
there though.
one. I think. Wait,
Oh, you're right.
ancient hero helmet.
No, that's the ancient hero replica. This is ancient
Yeah,
hero.
yeah, that
I
one.
still put it above shiny.
Still above shiny helmet. Not the best armor you could be getting, but
All right, let's get on to the armors. Light Wastelander, White Wastelander, my goat.
for real,
It
used to
was
be
meta.
meta.
Used to be meta, yeah. I mean, it's just because it got power creeped. But honestly, I'd say A tier. Like
It's
low
still
A tier.
good,
I mean,
even above Cave Dweller,
yeah, above Cave
because
Dweller.
you can get it at any time during your progression.
Wastelander was my personal goat. I always sacrifice that speed for that one more defense. Why? Wait, I don't know, honestly.
I mean, speed is still. I mean, it's really solid armor. I think
I
it has a low strength
think
requirement. It's like 510.
Wastelander has like a 5 strength requirement. Yeah, I used it on my Soul Warrior, my Kenyan Soul Warrior for the longest time.
Yeah, it's still good. But it's below.
Just because I
I'd put
didn't
it
need the speed.
below
I
below
put it
Light Wastelander.
high B tier, honestly.
High B
Yeah, just because I mean, compared to wit, stability,
comparatively.
and progression,
Yeah.
yeah. Crusader armor,
Eh,
we're changing subjects. Requires knight. Um,
The
pretty
stats
crucial
are kind of.
pretty crucial armor for upgrading, but we're not considering that. So, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. The stats are kind of. I mean, it's 4 defense,
4
but
defense, but -1 speed, and +1
only 1
damage. I mean,
damage. At the time you'd be wearing that, Soul Reaper would just be a better alternative.
yeah,
Because you're going to want to do the soul grind and you're not going to be fighting many bosses in
I'd
high
say
armor.
I'd say
And I put it below the ranger armors,
okay.
stat wise. I think above the regular ranger. Well, I don't know.
There's
Because
one more
regular ranger
defense,
is one more defense. Yeah.
so I think that's fine. Anyways, moving on. Heavy Wastelander.
Heavy. Heavy. Really
One,
not.
two,
I mean, I
three.
guess if you're going knight, it's a better alternative to the knight
15
armor because
strength.
it's not negative speed and it gives more damage.
I'd say it's definitely above Crusader armor. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, the strength requirement, stat wise, comparatively to the advanced ranger armor, advanced ranger armor is just better. So it'd be below that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then Gunslinger armor, 342. Pretty solid armor. I mean,
Definitely high A tier.
yeah.
Some of the best stats in game.
I've never. It's like along with Purple G, it's like one of the armor. If you play that class, you just kind of use that armor unless you have like some special thing you're doing, which doesn't really happen with
Yeah,
Gunslinger.
with well, sometimes you see the gunslingers wearing
All right.
Soul Reaper.
Yeah, but I mean, specifically because they're still getting sold or something. Anyways, the next armor, Lich armor.
Definitely a high tier along with Gunslinger and Purple Gi.
I'd say it's above because 451. I mean, yes, it's requiring Necromancer or Dark Mage, and it costs 100 souls, but it also gives magic boost. It's just so
Yeah,
good.
it
Um,
really is.
I mean, Black Mage, honestly, same place as it. It's higher
I don't
stability.
know.
I mean,
I'd put
it's
it below.
I'd say
The
just
stats
just
just
one below. It's practically just rearrange the stats to be more speed focused and one less damage and I think one less defense for two more speed. So it just exchanges one it exchanges one damage and one defense for two speed. So it's pretty much a trade off. But I think it also might give I think Lich Armor gives more boost, so I think this is pretty fair to have it.
death armor. Ooh, it's one of the really good ones. Incredibly tanky armor.
For if you're making
Must
like a
have.
wall build, yeah. If you're making a wall build, it is absolutely crucial. I mean, I'd say A tier. I mean, it's kind of just in the same vein as these, where most of these are kind of equal, just because at the point you use
Just
the
because they
armor is
require different classes.
yeah. Soul Reaper, we all know where that's
S.
going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's god tier progression, so
I mean, it's useful in all stages of progression just
yep.
because of the sheer amount of damage and also the soul bonus.
And it's not like it's expensive either. Shadow armor, the Soul Relic armor, 4-5. I mean, typically I'd say use this unless you're trying to trade that 4 speed for 1 attack and a soul.
Well,
Honestly,
here's the
the
here's the
Soul Relic,
interesting thing with Shadow Armor. Because of that inbuilt soul relic, you have an innate revive.
but also like it takes a relic slot, and
It
it's
does,
for a
but
relic that you
even
really kind of don't want most of the time.
I don't know. It saved me more than a few times.
I'd say honestly B tier. I mean, yes, it can
Uh,
save you, but then think about it. You have to grind it back, and it's just kind of doesn't it feel so meaningless?
no, because the thing is, when it comes to Shadow Armor, it's almost the same damage as Soul Reaper, but with 4 more speed.
I mean, this is
A lot of
true.
shadows, a lot of shadows still, even now, prefer to run
I honestly
Shadow Armor over Soul Reaper. I'd put it S tier. because even the
Just
staple
fight as soon
shadow,
as it's.
the staple shadow build is just anti-relic, powered relic, soul relic with shadow armor
Mm, mm.
and
I,
Kenian.
Beast armor, 233. Stun immunity?
Yeah, it gives stun immunity.
I didn't know this. Passive chance of proccing the berserk. Honestly, I didn't know it was that good. That's. Wait, hold on. What did I put up there? Oh, that's pumpkin helmet.
It's not really that good. The issue with proccing berserk is when berserk procs, it deals 10 damage to yourself.
What the hell? That's honestly C tier material right there. Just because, yes, it gives you a buff, but also that's kind of a buff that like you have to have go off at certain times, or it's just not good.
And I don't know what the chance is, but I'm pretty sure it bypasses. Like normally, when you try and use stuff like berserk or soul energy and your health is too low, it tells you can't. But I'm pretty sure that bypasses, so it just kills you.
Yeah, that's kind of a loose cannon sort of armor. Limit pusher. I don't really. I haven't used it like on an actual build just because it's like the only time I would want to use it is Namek, and I have a disdain for Nameks.
Well, it's still really good as an armor.
Yeah,
It's high damage and it has some defense. And if you pair it with Pumpkin Helmet, which already has insane stats for a helmet,
I
by
mean,
the way,
yeah, this is a really good armor. 352. It's essentially shadow armor if you got to 15 strength requirement, but it's essentially shadow armor if you took one away from the speed to add two defense.
yeah, it's literally just Shadow Armor, but
I'd say
without needing a relic.
I'd
But it
say
does
like
have a downside. I'd still put it below Shadow Armor
yeah.
because you can get leg injury, which
I mean,
lowers your speed, and then the speed
technically,
boost of the
if you
armor is
think
pointless.
about it though, if you just consider it as like how do you put this? It needs the relic that prevents that from happening, then it kind of becomes better because that also
No,
prevents injuries in general.
Namek. Limit Breaker Relic doesn't prevent injuries in general, it just lowers the chance to get them, which is something Namek already does with motivation.
So under certain circumstances, though, it can be a lot better though.
It can, but even with Limit Breaker Relic and Namek, the chance to negate injury scales with your chance. Now with your motivation, which is a whole separate issue, something you have difficulty building up over any type of fight.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I think I'd put it A tier, and the only reason I wouldn't put it high A tier along with like Lich Armor, I'd put it below Red Gi, well, below Scavenger because those are all the class specifics, is because you have to have 15 strength, which blocks it to specific races and classes. So it's basically just class locked
Hmm. Yeah.
racism.
Race locked. Anyways, the next thing on our list is Ice Crown. 213. Um, worse than Golden
Mm,
Crown. I'm pretty sure. It's just more. It's like a defensive wizard helmet, which is not where wizard sits,
that's
you
not
have
where Wizard sits. Yeah.
and I don't think you'd really want to use this.
And the danger it takes to grind it,
I don't.
I'd put it I'd put it above Summoner Armor in B tier just because of the stats, but
Yeah, but like when you'd be using it, it's not really great. All right, moving on. Paladin armor. I mean, it's really good. It's a class armor.
definitely with the other
For
class
tanking.
armors.
I mean, I'd say honestly, I kind of like death armor more just because it's one less defense, but it doesn't give you negative speed. Hold on, I have to. Death armor. Yeah, death armor is just one less defense for one more speed,
I mean that's solid.
and it's also less restricted because I mean, kind of. It's Dark Knight and Corrupted Knight that can use it, so
Cleric armor is also up there. I mean the
yeah.
6 speed is really good because it helps you dodge. which is good for survivability, and it has
I'd
decent
say it up there
defense
with the
too.
mage armors. Yeah,
Yeah,
really good speed. I mean, it's not meant for damage anyways, so you don't really need that damage. I mean, most of the time. I know there's some pretty goated clerics out there. Demon Slayer armor is really good. Um,
I mean
533. I mean,
it's
it's a little
it's
bit
tech.
less on damage, but
Well, the thing about it though is you never see demon slayers running it because whether you're trying to go for damage or survivability, merchant armor and soul reaper just outclass it in every other field you try and specialize. It'd still go in A tier just because of the stats,
yeah, but like,
but it'd be like around scavenger armor, above
yeah,
scavenger armor.
I'd say, yeah, that's kind of fair, just because of where you'd be at. Um, we didn't do the crown yet, but cleric's golden crown. I mean,
That's really good.
just kind of has to go up here. Like, I put it.
With the armor, maybe?
I'd say. I mean, no helmets really have reached this level so far that we rated. So
Well, I mean, every cleric's going to be running that.
yeah. Anyways, next ones
Unless
are.
it's that one weirdo who ran Pumpkin Helmet.
That
I
looks like
guess he
I do.
just really hated stun.
Golden crown. I mean, golden crown. That's kind of a goat crown.
That's A tier at least because of Gold Seeker.
True, but I mean, I'm just thinking like as
Like
general,
with
like every mage that doesn't have its own crown or like isn't a possession build or something.
actually, well, see, here's the thing though. With Gold Seeker, a Golden Crown becomes just as good as a Blood Crown. The Blood Crown would basically go in S tier.
I can agree with that. We'll just do blood crown preemptively.
But I'd still put it below Blood Crown in S tier, just because you have to be a Gold Seeker to make it that good.
Yeah. Golden skull helmet.
I mean, it's pretty solid, and it's good for Gold Seeker tanks.
I'd
So I'd
say
say
it's up. I'd say it's up here.
I'd put it a really high B tier,
Yeah, really. I've hit it
even above
darkness hood.
Darkness Hood, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because it doesn't have any restrictions at all. You can equip it basically anytime.
Scrap crown. Kind of low tier.
Yeah, I mean, lightning damage increase
Above
is
forest
nice.
crown. I'd say high C tier.
Yeah, just because it has 3 damage stat.
Yeah. Dark amulet.
I would put high A tier because it's still really useful, but it doesn't. And it's just as good as Blood Crown, but you have to have possession immunity to really use it.
Yeah. Um, tilted blindfold. I mean, we haven't even rated blindfold yet.
I mean, Blindfold is easily S tier. The stats are really good, and Tilted Blindfold is literally just Blindfold, but one less speed. So it would be slightly lower.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely. Hold on, where is tilted? Oh, there it is. it it's essentially the only helmet you really do compare it to is just straight up blindfold. I mean, wherever you're putting it on blindfold, I'd say
Well, Blindfold is, like I said, it's easily. I'd put it low S tier. Well, above Golden Crown.
yeah.
I'd say above Golden Crown.
I like tilted blindfold more because the vision is kind of just
Well, I
nice.
mean, the vision, but if we're just counting in combat, the regular Blindfold's
But we're
better, has
also
better
saying like the
stats.
usability. If anyone's using blindfold,
Well,
they're gonna be using tilted blindfold. I don't think I've any seen anyone use blindfold over it.
no, I see a lot of people run regular Blindfold, because one speed can really make the difference, especially with
I
VOG speed
I never
maxers.
I never do it
Well, you
personally.
just because you never do it.
Blood Moon Knight helmet is next. Minus.
I
Someone's kind of garbage. Minus three
mean,
from
it's
4/4.
decent for tanks. I'd put it below I'd put it above all the ancient helmets, but not above Rogue. The ancient helmets above shiny helmet. Not
Yeah.
like literally above it, but in front of them.
Oh, Rogue. I thought I misplaced. I thought Rogue was something else for a second. Anyways, Blood
He's so
Cultist.
intelligent.
I wasn't.
High
That.
S tier.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, above the crowns too.
for the crowns. I'd honestly put above Shadow Armor.
Yep.
We already did the crown. Cool shades. That's me. Um,
That's me. He's so me.
244.
Okay.
242. That has to
Honestly,
that has to be
that's
massive.
yeah. No, I'd put that next to Blood Crown.
Yeah. I'd say not as good Blizz Crown just because magic, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead.
Oh,
333.
definitely S tier.
Yeah, gives no stun. So, well,
I'd put it in front of the blindfolds, and even in front of Cool Shades, just
it's.
because no
I mean,
stun's
more
useful in a lot of
stats.
builds,
You'd have more stats with that.
and it's generally very, very, very well balanced stats. On top of no stun, we love no stun.
Yeah.
And then Bowmaster helmet,
Bowmaster helmet.
231.
I mean,
It's a pretty solid helmet. Was meta at one point, but the power creep, so I'd put it with Light Wastelander, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, that's Lightweight Center. Wait,
No, that's scavenger armor.
I know what I'm doing. Archer
He
helmet.
knows what he's doing.
I don't ever. It's kind of dog water for an enchanted helmet.
No, yeah, no, it's
I'd say tier. Pretty.
yeah. I'd put it above. I'd put it above Rogue. I think. What's the stats on Rogue again?
Rogue would be better by kind of. Rogue is.
Rogue
I think I prefer Rogue. So
312 as opposed to like what was it 132?
1, 2, 3. Archer is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Rogue's better. It's one less damage, but that extra speed really makes up for it.
Powered helmet. -1, +2, +4.
It's kind of a shitty helmet, but
Yeah.
it's still
I mean, it's. I'd say it's here.
it's slightly better than the. No, I don't even think it's better than the Blood Moon Knight because they both have negative speeds, and this one has less damage,
True.
and they have the same defense.
True. True.
Enchanted Hero helmet, on the other hand,
Change hero helmet. That used to be meta for paladins. I know that because they didn't like the
yeah,
negative speed. I'm assuming.
I'd put it right next to Horse Rider,
Yeah. I'd say even above
above it. Yeah,
because it's only one less defense. So.
and it doesn't, and it gives damage and speed too.
Yep. All right. Legends helmet 2, 2, 3.
Legends Helm was somewhat meta a while ago because it's a really balanced helmet.
Yeah. I
I'd put
mean.
it with Rogue, not the Rogue, Darkness Hood.
Yeah. I'd say above it honestly.
Yeah, the stats are above it.
Let's
And
see.
then
Dark
Dark
helmet
Helmet,
0, 3, 5.
035.
And then death helmet is just. Wait. What is death helmet? Death helmet is.
Death Helmet is one more defense, but one less speed.
I mean, wherever we put the other one, we're putting the other one just slightly off, practically.
Yeah, I'd
I'd
put.
say
I mean, the stats are really good, and
for a helmet, yeah.
for a helmet, yeah, I'd put it high A tier, not quite S tier because it's still outclassed by Pumpkin Helmet or Blood Cultist Hood.
Yeah, I'd say here, and then we can just put the other one like one below it.
Yeah,
And then corrupted knight helmet, 1, 3, 4. I mean,
the fucking Walrus Helmet.
walrus
Oh
helmet.
my days.
I'd say
I mean, the stats aren't bad. It's better.
I think it's worse than these though, because it's
Would it
less
be
speed.
worse than?
Less speed. I mean,
Yeah, no,
I'd
it's
say better
well, no,
than
it's more
better than
damn. It's better
this,
than Legend Helmet.
better than this, but worse than that.
Well, 133 is Golden Skull, so it's basically just Golden Skull, but more defense, I think.
Okay, Yeah. All right, and
Unless,
Dark Crusader helmet. Dark Crusader helmet. I mean armor.
yeah, no, it's literally just gold than skull, but better. Dark Crusader armor. Oh
Zero
man,
to 4.
garbage.
Yeah. I mean, it served its purpose a while
It
ago.
was meta. No, it was meta so long ago.
I'd say just below Summoner.
It doesn't even. It's so much work for a subpar armor because you have to dark enchant it. You need 100 souls, and then the stats are just 0 to 4. It's worse death armor, and it
Yeah,
has higher cost than death armor.
I think that's pretty fair then. All right, that's the tier
And
list.
it's such a shame because it's such a drippy armor.
That's kind of real. I mean, it isn't it just retextured Crusader? It's yeah, it's just kind of retextured.
Yeah, but Crusader is also really drippy.
That's true. That's the tier list, Zep. That's the tier list. We did it.
It
Platform battles
sure
can finally
is.
get updated.
But you know what that means.
Do what you must.
Do what I must. One second.
I want to let you know I'm not editing this before I post it.
Oh, I'm aware. I know.
Like I am not putting this much effort into this. I'm recording this and it's gonna
Did
start
you
uploading.
have you even edited any of them?
The tier list? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I've edited other videos, just not the tier list, just because I was like, it's like the tier list. These were low effort content. They used to be at least.
All right, all right.
All right.
Call on the Undertaker, follow the undertow. Grim as the Reaper, guiding me on the tide of war we row. Ready to meet our Maker, no matter by friend or foe. Our death will be swift, but that is a gift democracy bestows. So call on the Undertaker, follow the undertow. Familiar the face of danger, brace yourself, it awaits below. From grace we fell, now raise in hell is all we've come to know. We'll die today, so time to take the dive. Hold your nose, plunge into the fray, and plunder away. Our work is far from done. With guns to which we stick till every world at war is won. A universe of super Earths is what ours will become. But even then, the siege won't end. We've only just begun. Across a vast galactic ocean, our flag will proudly fly. For freedom once in motion won't be stopped until it dies, and we dive with such devotion to be thrown away alive. Although we go down one by one, that's just our way of life. Go call on the Undertaker, follow the undertow. Lucky I brought my breaker because I've come to crush some bones. Even Satan shan't forsake us, no hellion left alone. Until we can extract again. Wait up, you're on your own. Oh, holler the Undertaker, caught in the undertow. Where graves were laid, mistakes were made, but learn from them we won't. No, you can't rescind a stratagem, beware of where you throw. My orbital has fallen short, away we'll all be blown. Our actions rash, but tactics brash, we don't go by the book. Because one day of basic training's all we ever took. But the bots and bugs who've lost to us to waste have all been laid, the remains of which we scavenge, that's how liberty is made. Our capes are quite aesthetic, but more than pure cosmetic. They represent the right to slay, and may we not forget it. To answer duty's call, I'd even fall upon my sword, or sit on my grenade, which I will pray my butt absorbs. I am a diver, nigh a survivor. Life is about the we thrive in the fire with iced out attire like lightning in my now strike a Tesla tower. Whatever the weather sends, be it blinding blizzard storm, incendiary tornadoes between descending meteors, we walk in our Father's footsteps, misfortune be forewarned. Put us to death, but in our stead we'll just be sending more. Oh, call on the Undertaker, follow the undertow. A wreckage we make that's left in our wake wherever we may row. You can't command democracy, you Karens ought to know. If you're asking for the manager, off the buck you go. Oh, call in the Undertaker, follow the undertow. We'll take the helms that sail for hell, how swell our welcome home. We're fresh right out the freezer, but our feet will not get cold. The war's our bond, we're holding on till the dives do.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Much more upbeat.
All the comments on this video should be, if you made it this far, guys, make sure to put the a comment, and your comment has to be the hands clapping emoji, or you could just say hands clapping. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah,
By the way, check out JT Music. They made that song.
I
Love
did.
them.
I did
One
not
of
know
my
that.
favorite artists.
That's kind of real, but yeah. Anyways, that's the video, guys. I like I like platform battles.
Real.
This is if this is not the last tier list I have to make for this game. Um, I don't know.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
The lights are on, but nobody's home. Anyways, Seb, say your closing remarks.
Closing remarks. Just want to say it's annoying on one hand that you can't multi-account on Vlad in Hard Mode Mansion, but on the other hand, that is one fun fucking fight. I love that fight. I love the mechanics.
I think I got killed in 2 turns. Actually, no, I don't think I made it to the boss. I think I died. I think no, okay, no, no. I think I made it to Vlad, but like we already lost someone. I think we lost 2 people, so we just died. I gotta do
Yeah,
hard mode Vlad.
love the boss fight. Love the mechanics. Keep them coming.
Who's ready to
Although
fight? Who's ready to fight Michael, guys?
that's my closing speech. Keep up the good work. Love that boss. Make more like it.
I can't wait to fight Michael. I don't even have all the hacking essences collected. Ba except harmonize with me. Ba
Bye.
ba. No, you gotta
Bye.
keep saying it. Ba
Bye.